Is this thing on? It is. So, I'm Alex Vega. This video is going to be just some things I've learned. And essentially, it's been a while since I made a video. It's been a while since I made a video. I think one of the reasons why is because this past 5 months has been more than a journey, and I've learned a lot. It's been one of the hardest, if not the hardest times of my life. And it's been some of the most enjoyable as well at the same time, but in different senses, different ways. I want to start with the first thing that I've learned, and I want to get this into maybe 4 or 5 points. The first thing that I've learned is never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. The reason why I say never stop dreaming is because when I came back to South Florida, Miami, I'm actually currently at my girlfriend's house, which is about 30 minutes away. I stopped dreaming because I thought that what my dreams were not really what God wanted, and maybe they're not. However, I don't think that's a reason for you to stop dreaming. I think you have to think about the fact that you're actually able to dream. Like, where do dreams come from? They come from your mind. At least so we think. But regardless, they're produced from you, which is a image construction of who God is. And so God is ultimately the author and giver of all things. If something exists, it's because God first birthed it, whether it's an idea or a concept. And I think that dreams are an idea and a concept that God creates. And I do believe that His dreams are what we should have priority. But I believe that He gives us His dreams through our dreams. Now, I do think at the same time there's an aspect of like gray area where we can kind of fit our own ideas in that and such. But I do believe for the most part that God communicates to us through dreams that we have with His will for our lives. And it's going to be different. The purpose of a man is to glorify God. But the calling of a man is to do that in different ways than somebody else. And so I would say the first thing that I learned is to never stop dreaming, regardless on just what the enemy will do, regardless on why you feel the need to stop dreaming. The second thing is, things happen all of a sudden. Never stop thinking ahead, but never allow the future to determine your peace. Right now, I'm going through a season where I'm actually trying to figure out how to stop allowing the future to determine my peace, how to stop thinking ahead, and how to stop plotting and planning too much. And I know I just said kind of the opposite, but putting things in perspective here and in context. I think it's important to understand what is too much and what isn't. It's important to think ahead, but it's important to look and to pay attention. But at what point do you just do it so much to where you're starting to worry and have anxiety, and that's all you can do and you don't really know? Why try to control something you have no control over? You can't control the future, bro. You can't do anything about the next 6 months. Like, you don't even know what's gonna happen, and you're worried about it. Even if it's a valid worry, why pay more or put more energy in what you can't do when you can put it in or invest it in something you can do? For an example, if you're worried about, I don't know, you're worried about your weight and you have a timeline because let's say you're doing this for a job. Why not invest in your health in a way that would get you to a particular place within 6 months? That's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. That's just an example. And I know depending on how far you want to go with this, it can be a bit more complicated on finding solutions, but the idea is what I'm looking at. And so, that would be the second thing that I've learned. Number three is very interesting to me. Because I find myself in a place right now where I'm wrestling with this. But yet I've still learned it. Number 3 is it's okay to be angry with God. I think this is a very tricky one. Somebody hears this right now and they're just saying, what do you mean? Like, no, it's not. Well, yes, it is. I'm not saying it's okay to stay there for all your life and then to go in rebellion. I'm not saying rebel and that's a good thing. I'm saying that it's okay to feel anger towards God because you don't understand why things are happening the way that they are, or things are not happening in a way that you had thought they were. You were given a word, but you were never given a layout, but you thought you did have the layout from God. You know you have a word, you think you have the layout, you're actually sure you have the layout. Little do you know, you have the word but not really the layout. So when the layout doesn't work and you thought it was God, now you feel like you're let down. Now you feel like you were let on. Because all these things happened that looked like it was pointing to this picture that you had worked out, just for it to not. And now you're thinking, so did you just leave me on? Now you're just thinking, was it all for nothing? Now you're just thinking that God's a liar. Now you're thinking that the promises that he gave, or the word he gave, it's not true. It's from you. Now depending on where you're at in your walk, you'll do a few different things, but what I've done is I'll just be like, so I guess that means that my dreams, so this goes back to number 1, right? My dreams aren't from God. My dreams are from me. I'm selfish. I'm entitled, which to a degree we all are. And I only care about myself, and I can't stop thinking, because this is all I know. This is all I can think about when it comes to life's calling. Those are a lot of conclusions you're coming to. I came to. Just because one thing happened, or just because you thought you had one thing, the layout, when in reality, all you had was the word. It's okay to be angry at God, my friend. If I want to be honest, I'm wrestling with my feelings with him right now. I think that it's important to be aware of how you feel with your Creator. He gave you feelings, and when he went to the cross for you, he knew with that in mind, and before, matter of fact, before the foundations of the world, that you would be in a place like this. And yet he still created everything with you in mind, as in to when you would be born, right? Saves you. So he goes to the cross thinking of you, thinking of everybody that he would save. Knowing that you would do this, do you really think that you're aware of something that God isn't? Is there anything truly new under the sun? Solomon writes. I'm not encouraging anger towards God. I'm saying it's okay to be angry with God. My friend, I would encourage you to not stay there. Seek him with understanding, for understanding. And maybe that will make you even more mad, because the understanding that he'll provide for you will just be more frustrating and infuriating. I would encourage you to keep doing it anyway, because that's how you find peace. Eventually, you'll find a place where you're satisfied. Even if you don't truly understand why. You do understand that God still is someone who can be trusted. And this is treacherous waters. It's very treacherous waters. However, just as he parted the Red Sea in the Exodus, he can also pardon those treacherous waters that you're treading in now. And that's part 1 of a 3-part mini-series I recorded called Lessons. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you liked it. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.
I liked it.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's go to part